Hi everybody, welcome back to Beardy and the Baldy channel and Beardy's books for May 17th, 2017. So today got a whole huge stack of books. So I'm going to do what I've been doing lately, and I'm just going to kind of run through everything quickly and focus on one or two books at the end that really grabbed my attention this week. First up, again, I haven't done it yet, but I am going to do recaps of the first every issue of Secret Empires that comes out. We are up to issue 2 here this week. Somewhere there's a number on here. Oh, it's up there. 2. Issue 2, Secret Empire, the whole Steve Rogers Hydra Cap thing, and where all that's going. So yeah, we'll catch up on that later in the week. New number 1 out today, Luke Cage number 1. This is pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed this issue. The artwork is great. As far as I know, it's from a creative team I've not experienced yet, but it was really interesting. Kind of had some of the vibe from the TV show, but yet, you know, it feels like it's gonna definitely connect into the larger Marvel world at large. There's some kind of thrilling and exciting things in here that I did not think were possible. So, Luke Cage, number 1. Another new number 1, Generation X. I gotta admit, I was not thrilled with this issue. I've never been a huge fan of the side of the school, the X-Men books that focus too much on the school and the students when they tried to write them just like normal kids who just happen to have powers. That's not necessarily saying the book is bad. It's just not my cup of tea. The artwork's good. It definitely kept me flipping through it, but it's not what I'm really into. But it does have a lot of the students and Jubilee's back. Some of the dialogue I thought was a bit forced, a bit awkward when Jubilee and Kitty were talking to each other in the mansion. It just kind of seemed a little, I don't know. It didn't feel X-Men. It felt like something else with X-Men characters, but that's just my opinion. So Generation X, probably not one I'm going to be tuning back into in the future, but by all means check it out yourself and make up your own mind, because I don't want to be giving advice on what you should be buying, just what I'm buying and what I think about it. So next up is The Wildstorm from Vertigo / DC. Well, I guess it's just DC. I don't know why I said Vertigo. The series is really good. Warren Ellis writing just about anything is amazing, and him running at a lot of the 90s image characters that Jim Lee and those guys created back in the day is really great. So things are starting to pick up, and we'll see where things go from there. Green Arrow 23, The Rise of Star City. It's the next chapter in this series where you've got these 4 horsemen running around Seattle, causing all sorts of chaos and destruction. The threads are starting to line up and pull together, and again, was this Juan Ferreira's art in this book? His art and colors are just amazing. I mean, if I can hold it up, man, I don't know. That's just powerful stuff. It's a really good story, really good read. Really enjoy this. So, Green Arrow, Rebirth. Story has been great since the first issue. This is up to 23, and it's still rocking some really cool stuff. Aquaman, also issue 23. Check out this amazing Josh Middleton cover. And it's just awesome. Definitely setting me in the mood for the Pirates of the Caribbean movie coming up in a couple weeks. So anyway, 23. I will say that this is part of a new arc called what's it called? Crown of Atlantis, We already had the Throne of Atlantis in the New 52 a couple years ago. I know it's a new writer, but I'm kind of getting really tired of the back and forth of the people of Atlantis getting behind and then turning against King Arthur, Aquaman. Albeit this is being told well, and I'm really intrigued to see where this goes. But it just feels like I'm in this cycle of books with Aquaman where it's, he's at war with the people within his own city, or insurgents, or rebels, or he's fighting the land. Like I don't feel like the last couple issues were great with the whole Dark Water and Otherworld and all that stuff that he was doing. Like I said, the story, it seems like it's being told well, and I want to see where it's going, but it just feels frustrating that like every 2 or 3 arcs we're back to the same couple of stories, just with slightly different twists. So I'd like to see him do some more things. I like the whole story before the New 52 arc ended, when the other world was trying to come through, and there was the early Atlanteans that had gotten lost or chose to stay there or whatever, and all these different things. The constant political miasma of stuff is just but I still really like Aquaman, and just the whole him and Mera doing everything together. I really like that. So there's still a lot of good things going on in this book. As you can tell, it's halfway down my stack, but they need to move on to some new ground here instead of retreading the same couple concepts every couple story arcs. Going into more under the water stuff. Low, issue number 18 is out today. Rick Remender and Greg Tocchini, and is it Ian McCaig? Dave McCaig, sorry, Ian McCaig. That feels like I should be from something else. Anyway, man, this book is such an emotional roller coaster. Can't really highlight this too much individually. Just go back and check out all the volumes of Low and get caught up. It's really good stuff. Monsters Unleashed number 2, the ongoing series, featuring Kid Kaiju and Elsa Bloodstone on the cover there, fighting mindless ones seemingly controlled by Mole Man. The cover doesn't really jive in my mind, but kicking stuff here. But anyway, this is a great issue. I'm really digging this series. I love all his monsters and their dialogue and the personalities. It's really a lot of fun. This is one of the most fun reads in the Marvel books right now. So check that out. Great story, great art. Superman 23, part of the Black Dawn story arc, part 4. This is an intense issue. I'll just leave it at that. Great artwork, great storytelling. Some tragic stuff happens. This is an intense issue. I will leave it at that. That's a great cover though too, huh? Superman 23. I'm getting caught up here. I want to talk about everything. Mighty Thor number 19. Yes, that is Thor and Odin's son standing side by side against the Phoenix. I gotta say, the Phoenix, I love the idea. I love the stories from the old X-Men books. It feels like it's one of those things that has just kind of gotten blown out of proportion and just gets used. When it gets used, it's usually just kind of ridiculous. Like the whole Phoenix Force 5 and the Phoenix Buster from the AVX story a couple years ago was just so bleh. I like what they've been teasing with this. I mean, they've been teasing for years the whole, or at least a couple of years, Quentin Quire being somehow connected to the Phoenix Force, and that his destiny, his future. And in issue 18 of Thor, he gets pulled out into space with them. So that was just kind of interesting. But there's some really cool stuff in this issue featuring the Phoenix and the Phoenix Force that I've never quite encountered before, and I really liked it. I thought that was really cool. So Mighty Thor number 19, and check out next month's issue for sure, number 20. That's going to get into the was it the Ultimate Thor story? The all-new Ultimate Thor, which they set up during the Unworthy Thor story arc. And now my last two issues for today. X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue have been killing it every week they've been out. And yes, I realize I am holding up a Gambit cover. Most of you who know me know I'm not a huge fan of Gambit, but over the past year, I've really enjoyed him anytime he's shown up in a book. When he was in the all-new X-Men Monsters Unleashed one-shot, he was great. His appearance in the all-new Wolverine story arc was really cool, and his run in this, in X-Men Gold issue 4, was really good. And R.B. Silva did the art on this, and it's just fantastic artwork. Kind of reminds me a little bit of... it's very much his own style, but there's kind of flavors that remind me of Stuart Immonen stuff, so it was really cool. Really great issue. Just seeing Gambit get to do some thieving and being, you know, Gambit in a way is pretty cool. I mean, come on. As much as I don't like him, how can I not like that? That's just some great artwork. And Kitty's got some great action scenes in here. The team, I love it. X-Men Gold. Mark Guggenheim writing. Like I said, R.B. Silva's doing the artwork on, I think, this issue and at least the next one. As they look, you know, the whole thing going on there with the art mix-ups. But yeah, a lot of cool threads, things they've started in the last couple issues. It's nice to see Amara, aka Magma, back at the school and not being under the sway of Mysterio anymore, or Mesmero. So yeah, this is pretty cool. X-Men Gold, really check this out. See if I can find another picture here to show without giving... let's see if I can... This shot of Old Man Logan and Storm. And it's just great artwork. I don't know if that's translating very well, but yeah, good stuff. And last but not least, it's very rare that one of the big two is not my favorite pick of the week. So my pick of the week, my favorite book this week was actually Rose number 2 from Image, from Meredith Finch and Goara. Apologize if I'm pronouncing that horribly. This is a cool fantasy series that started a month or two ago with this young girl, Rose. Her village has been attacked, and she's met some rebels or people in hiding. She's trying to find out what happened to her family. She wants revenge. And, you know, she's got some sort of powers. We don't really know what they are, and it kind of gets revealed to some of the other characters in this issue. I just love the artwork in this book. It's just... Look at these faces. I don't think I've heard of this artist until this series, and it's just great stuff. I'm trying to show stuff without giving too much away. The story so far is pretty simple, pretty plain, but I'm really enjoying it. Every time I read it, I'm definitely looking forward to what happens next. And there's kind of like a big... for not knowing much about the world, it feels like a big reveal at the end of this issue to set up where things are going to go. So if you want to try out a new kind of sword and sorcery fantasy epic, Rose is a good place to start. I know we have a couple copies of number 1, I think, still at Comics Connection, so come in and check those out. But hey, there's the rundown for Beardy's books this week, May 17th, 2017. I also want to give a shout out to my lovely and adorable fiance, who has not been feeling well the last couple days. So I hope you are feeling better today, and I love you. Feel better soon. All right, everybody, that's the Beardy signing off for Beardy's books, and I'll catch you next time.